In the beginning there was nothing but darkness, an infinite void. Then God spoke with divine authority, "Let there be light." And in an instant the darkness was pierced by radiance. The light separated from the darkness, and God called the light day and the darkness night. From his word alone, order began to take shape out of chaos. He spoke again, and the heavens were stretched out above the waters. The land rose up, separating the seas, and lush vegetation of every kind covered the earth. Oceans roared into existence, mountains towered with majesty, and life itself began to flourish. God created the sun to rule the day and the moon to illuminate the night. Stars, like countless jewels, filled the heavens. He filled the seas with creatures of every kind, from the smallest fish to mighty whales, and he commanded the skies to teem with birds. On the land, animals of every shape and size roamed, all according to his design. But his masterpiece was yet to come. God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into him the breath of life. Adam became a living being, made in the very image of God, reflecting his glory and character. Then, seeing that it was not good for man to be alone, God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, took one of his ribs, and fashioned it into a woman, Eve, his perfect companion. Together they were placed in the Garden of Eden, a paradise so beautiful and abundant that they had everything they could ever need. They walked with God in the cool of the day, enjoying perfect harmony with their Creator and with one another. But this perfection did not last. Among the beauty of Eden was a cunning serpent who sought to undermine God's perfect creation. The serpent approached Eve with deceptive words, planting doubt in her mind. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" he asked. Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent's cunning grew sharper. "You will not certainly die," he said, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." The words were enticing, and Eve gazed at the fruit of the forbidden tree. It was pleasing to the eye and desirable for gaining wisdom. She reached out, took the fruit, and ate it. She gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it too. In that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and they realized their nakedness. Shame entered the world for the first time, and they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. When they heard the sound of God walking in the garden, they hid among the trees, consumed by guilt and fear. God called out, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. The blame could not undo what had been done. The perfect relationship between God and humanity was broken. Creation itself groaned under the weight of their disobedience. God pronounced judgment. To the serpent he said, "Cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life." To the woman he said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children." To the man he said, "Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life." Yet even in this moment of judgment, God's grace shone through. To the serpent, he declared a promise. "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." This was the first glimpse of redemption, a promise that one day a Savior would come to defeat sin and death. Adam and Eve were cast out of Eden, their paradise lost. An angel with a flaming sword guarded the entrance to the garden, ensuring they could not return to the tree of life. Though the consequences of their actions were severe, God did not abandon them. He clothed them with garments of skin, a tender act that foreshadowed the ultimate sacrifice of his Son, Jesus Christ. Even in humanity's darkest failure, God extended his hand of grace. He whispered a promise of restoration, of hope, and of a future where the broken relationship would be mended. Through it all, God's love never wavered. His plan for redemption was set in motion, a plan that would one day restore what was lost and bring humanity back into perfect fellowship with him. The story of creation and the fall is not just about the past. It is about every one of us. Will you trust his promise and allow him to restore what has been broken?